Okay, real talk. It's the 22nd of the month. You checked your bank account this morning and somehow, you have $47 left until payday. You have no idea where your money went. Like, you didn't buy anything crazy. You didn't go on vacation. You didn't make any big purchases. The money just evaporated. And the worst part, this is the third month in a row this has happened. You tell yourself, okay, next month I'm going to be better. And you mean it. You genuinely 100% mean it. But then next month comes and you are right back in the same spot, staring at your phone, watching that number shrink like it has a personal vendetta against you. If that's you, stay right here because this video is going to change how you think about money and not just what you do with it. My name is Bihari and I spend way too much time thinking about the psychology of budgeting. If you're someone who knows they should be budgeting but can't seem to make any system actually stick, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. It genuinely helps me keep making these videos and I promise this one is worth your time. Alright, here's the thing. When most people decide they want to get better with money, the first thing they do is Google how to budget, and what comes up? Spreadsheets, color-coded categories, apps that sync to your bank account and send you little notifications every time you spend $4 on coffee, making you feel like a financial criminal. And look, none of that stuff is wrong exactly. But here's what nobody tells you. The reason you're bad with money probably has nothing to do with math. You already know that spending more than you earn is bad. You already know saving is good. That information has been available to you your entire adult life. So why isn't it working? Because budgeting isn't a math problem. It's a behavior problem. And you can't solve a behavior problem with a spreadsheet. Here's a statistic that actually stopped me cold when I first read it. According to a study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, approximately 88% of people who create a detailed budget abandon it within 3 months. 88%? That's not a willpower problem. That's a design problem. The system itself is failing people. And the reason most budgets fail comes down to something psychologists call decision fatigue. Every single day, the average adult makes somewhere around 35,000 decisions. 35,000. And every decision, even a tiny one, uses up mental energy. So by the time you're standing in the grocery store at 6 p.m. after a full day of work, your brain is running on fumes. And that's when the frozen pizza goes in the cart instead of the chicken and vegetables you planned on. And that's when the I'll just grab Chipotle happens. And suddenly your $200 grocery budget somehow turned into $340 between the store and DoorDash. You didn't fail because you're irresponsible. You failed because you were tired. There's a difference. Now, you might be thinking, Bihari, I've tried budgeting apps. I've tried the envelope system. I've tried writing everything down. Nothing sticks. And I believe you completely. The traditional budgeting model was basically invented for a different era. It assumed you got a paper check, cashed it, put physical cash into physical envelopes labeled rent, food, entertainment, and then spent from those envelopes. Clear, tangible, visual. But now we're living in a world where money is completely invisible. It's a number on a screen. You tap your phone to buy things. Subscriptions pull from your account automatically in the background like little financial ghosts you forgot existed. A study from C+R Research found that the average American spends about $219 per month on subscription services, but when they were asked to estimate it, they guessed around $86. That's a gap of $133 every single month. $133 times 12 is $1,596 a year just silently leaking out of your account. And here's what most people don't realize. The whole point of modern payment technology, contactless payments, one-click ordering, stored card info, is specifically engineered to reduce the psychological pain of spending. Research from MIT actually showed that people spend significantly more when paying with credit cards versus cash because the physical act of handing over bills activates the brain pain centers. Digital payments completely bypass that, so you're not bad with money. You're operating in a system that is actively, deliberately designed to make spending easier and saving harder. And then we blame ourselves for not having enough willpower to fight it. No more of that. Let's build a system that works with your brain instead of against it. Okay, so here's the actual system. I call it the no shame budget, and it has 3 phases. I'm going to walk you through each one. Phase 1, the honest audit. Before you can build a budget, you need to know what you're actually dealing with, not what you think you're spending, what you're actually spending. Here's what I want you to do. Go into your bank account or credit card statements and pull up the last 30 days. Every single transaction. Don't judge anything yet. Don't wince. Don't close the app because you're embarrassed. Just look. Now sort your spending into 3 buckets, not 10 categories, not 25 line items. 3. Bucket 1, fixed survival. This is rent or mortgage, utilities, car payment, insurance, phone bill, minimum debt payments. The stuff that would ruin your life if it didn't get paid. Write down the total. Bucket 2, variable survival. This is groceries, gas, and any medical stuff. Things you genuinely need, but the exact amount changes month to month. Bucket 3, everything else. Restaurants, subscriptions, shopping, entertainment, random Amazon purchases, the $12 phone charger you bought at the airport. Everything else goes here. Most people, when they do this exercise for the first time, are genuinely shocked by bucket 3. I've talked to people who were convinced they were spending maybe $300 a month on extras. And when they actually added it up, it was $800, $900, sometimes over $1,000. Not because they're reckless people, but because those purchases happened in small, forgettable increments. A $14 lunch here, a $9.99 subscription there, a $35 Amazon order you barely remember, a $23 bar tab on a Tuesday. None of those feel like a lot in the moment, but $14 plus $9.99 plus $35 plus $23 is $82. And if that happens a few times a week, you're looking at potentially $650 to $700 a month on things you could barely describe if someone asked you. This is where it gets really interesting. Most budgeting advice tells you to track every purchase and make sure you don't go over your budget for each category. Spend no more than $300 on food, no more than $150 on entertainment. Keep a running tally all month long. That approach puts the friction in the wrong place. It makes spending feel like a test you're constantly taking. And humans are very, very bad at maintaining vigilance over long periods of time. So we're going to flip the whole thing. Here's the concept. Instead of trying to control your spending throughout the month, you remove the money you need to save and invest before you have a chance to spend it. Automatically, on payday, before your brain ever registers it as available. This is called pay yourself first. And while you may have heard the phrase before, most people don't actually implement it correctly. Here's how it works with real numbers. Let's say you bring home $3,500 a month after taxes. That's your starting point. Step 1, calculate your fixed survival total. Let's say that comes to $1,800. Rent is $1,100. Car payment is $300. Insurance is $150. Phone is $80. A subscription or two adds another $170. That $1,800 is non-negotiable. It goes out automatically. Step 2, decide on your savings number, not what you think you should save, not some aspirational 20%. What can you actually realistically set aside right now without it causing a crisis? Maybe that's $200. Maybe it's $350. For some people starting from zero, it might be $100. Whatever that number is, set up an automatic transfer to a separate savings account on the same day your paycheck hits, not the day after, not when you get around to it, the same day. Step 3, here's the key part. After your fixed survival costs are covered and your savings are transferred, whatever is left is your spending money. For no judgment, guilt-free use however you want. No categories, no tracking, no spreadsheet. Using our example, $3,500 minus $1,800 in fixed costs minus $300 in savings leaves you with $1,400. That $1,400 now has to cover your variable survival, groceries, gas, and your everything else. Now, here's the psychological magic. When you know that your savings are already handled and your bills are already covered, the remaining money doesn't feel like money I need to be careful with. It feels like actual spending money. You lose the guilt. You stop the mental gymnastics of, can I afford this for every little purchase? And paradoxically, most people actually spend less when they're not stressed and tracking everything obsessively. Okay, let's talk about why that savings number matters so much more than people realize. Because this is the part that genuinely changes lives when people actually understand it. Let's say you're 28 years old and you set up an automatic transfer of $300 a month into an index fund, something boring and simple like an S&P 500 fund, not individual stocks, not crypto, just a basic index fund, $300 a month. That's $10 a day. That's one fewer dinner out per week, roughly. Over 30 years, assuming a historical average market return of about 7% annually after adjusting for inflation, and that's a conservative, well-documented historical average. That $300 a month becomes approximately $340,000. You contributed $108,000 of your own money. The market did the other $232,000 for you just because you were consistent. Now, here's what makes that statistic even more powerful. If you wait just 5 years, if you're 33 instead of 28 when you start, that same $300 a month grows to about $228,000 instead of $340,000. That 5-year delay cost you $112,000 from the exact same contribution amount. This is the concept of compound interest, and while everyone has heard of it, almost nobody has actually sat with the math long enough for it to feel real. So let it feel real right now. Every month you wait is not neutral. It is actively expensive. Now you might be thinking, this is great, but I have credit card debt, like a lot of it. So what am I supposed to do? Save money while I'm paying 24% interest on a Visa card? This is one of the most legitimate objections in personal finance, and the answer is more nuanced than most people give it credit for. There are two main strategies for paying off debt. The first is the debt avalanche, where you pay minimums on everything and throw all extra money at the highest interest rate debt first. Mathematically, this is optimal. It saves you the most money in interest over time. The second is the debt snowball, popularized by Dave Ramsey, where you pay minimums on everything and attack the smallest balance first, regardless of interest rate. This is psychologically optimal. Every time you pay off a small debt, your brain gets a dopamine hit, a small win, and that motivation keeps you going. Here's what most people don't realize. The mathematically correct strategy is useless if you quit after 3 months, and research actually supports this. A Harvard Business Review study found that people using the debt snowball approach were significantly more likely to eliminate their total debt than people who were mathematically optimizing. So, what do I recommend? If your highest interest debt is also your smallest balance, congratulations, the decision is easy. But if you're staring down a $12,000 credit card at 22% interest and a $400 medical bill at 0%, pay off that medical bill first, get the win, build the momentum, then go attack the big one. And here's the thing about saving while paying off debt. Even if you're paying 20% interest on a credit card, I still recommend keeping at least a small amount, even $50 or $100 a month, going into an emergency fund until you hit $1,000. Because here's what happens when people have zero savings and are doing everything right on their debt payoff plan. Their car needs a $600 repair and they have no cash. So they put $600 right back on the credit card and they're demoralized and they give up. A $1,000 emergency fund isn't an investment. It's a buffer between you and the moment life tests your plan. Get there first. I want to give you one action you can take today that could realistically free up $100 to $200 a month. Right now, no lifestyle change required. Go through every single subscription on your bank and credit card statements from the last 60 days. Write them all down. And I mean all of them. The streaming services, yes, you probably have 3 or 4. The gym membership you haven't used since February. The meditation app you downloaded during a stressful week in 2022 and never opened. The cloud storage you're paying $9.99 a month for when your phone already gives you free storage. The news subscription, the premium version of something that has a free tier. I'll tell you something. When I did this exercise, I found I was paying for a VPN service I'd signed up for during a free trial 2 years prior and completely forgotten about. $11.95 a month. That's $143 a year. Gone. Look, I'm not telling you to cancel everything and live like a monk. Keep the subscriptions you genuinely use and love. But the ones you forgot about, the ones you never sign up for today if they weren't already running, cancel them this afternoon. Seriously, not I'll do it this weekend. Today. Even if you only find $80 worth of forgotten subscriptions, that's $960 a year. That's your entire emergency fund in just over a year without changing a single spending habit. Here's the deepest thing I want to leave you with. And this is the parts most financial YouTube channels skip entirely because it's not as satisfying as showing you a debt payoff spreadsheet. The reason most people stay broke, even people with good incomes, isn't because they lack information. They have the information. You have the information. You knew before watching this video that you should spend less than you earn and save the difference. The reason it doesn't work is identity. Most people who struggle with money have, at some level, internalized the identity of someone who's bad with money. They say it out loud, half joking, "Oh, I'm terrible with money." They let it become a personality trait. And here's the brutal psychological truth. People act in alignment with their identity. If you believe at your core that you're bad with money, your brain will actually resist financial progress because it conflicts with your self-concept. It's a weird glitch in human psychology, but it's well documented. So the system I described today, the automatic savings, the 3 buckets, the subscription audit, those aren't just financial tactics, they're evidence. Every month you hit your savings transfer, that's evidence that you are someone who invests in their future. Every subscription you cancel is evidence that you're in control of where your money goes. You're not trying to become a good with money person someday. You already are one. You're just collecting the proof. All right, let's make this concrete. Here's exactly what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. First, do the honest audit. Open your bank app, pull up the last 30 days, and sort everything into the 3 buckets: fixed survival, variable survival, everything else. Don't judge, just look. Second, do the subscriptions audit. Find every recurring charge. Cancel the ones you forgot you had. Third, open a separate savings account if you don't already have one. A high yield savings account. Ideally, something like Ally or Marcus or your credit union savings account that earns at least 4% right now. Set up an automatic transfer for whatever number you can commit to. Even $50, even $25. The amount matters less than the habit at the start. Fourth, and this one is optional but powerful, write down the number you calculated from phase 1, your actual 3 bucket totals, and just sit with it for a moment. No shame, no judgment, just information, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's it. 4 steps. Nothing in there requires a finance degree. Nothing requires you to never enjoy your money. You're just setting up a system that removes the need for daily willpower and lets you live your life without that low-grade financial anxiety humming in the background of everything. You've already taken the first step by watching this video. That's not nothing. That's evidence. If you made it this far, thank you. Genuinely. I know personal finance content isn't always the most exciting thing to sit down and watch, but the fact that you're here and thinking about this stuff puts you in a very different category than most people. If this helped you, hit the like button. It helps more people find this content who need it. Subscribe if you want more videos like this one, and drop in the comments. What's the one step from today that you're committing to doing in the next 24 hours? I read every comment, and honestly, writing it down makes you more likely to follow through. I'll see you in the next one.